Hey guys, it is January 12th, 2011 and 6:53 p.m. I made a video for a while, so I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know how things are going. I'm still a raw vegan and enjoying every bit of it. I just finished having dinner a while ago. One of the changes that I did as I became a raw vegan is I no longer eat foods when there is no sun out. So it's basically like a daylight eating, which is the way we're supposed to eat. That's natural. I mean, if you go back uh, in time, when there was no light, we were in bed. And basically, one of the reasons I believe that we are so sick is that we are doing everything out of a normal rhythm. I eat 3 meals a day. Before, I used to eat every 2 to 2.5 hours trying to build muscle and all this stuff, which didn't realize that that actually creates a lot more problems. It makes your liver work harder, your kidneys. We're not meant to eat as much protein as we do, and that's why we're so sick and have all these diseases around us. I am a little disappointed with the raw movement. They have all sorts of con artists and salesmen trying to sell you all sorts of potions and pills, when in reality all you really need is fruits and vegetables and a small amount of fats. I prefer to take in my fats from avocado. If you really think about it, nature had a way of protecting seeds and nuts. For instance, cacao, which is being sold as a snake oil in the raw movement, and they think it's a superfood and it's wonderful for you, when in reality it's very harmful because cacao is actually the seed of a fruit. Now, all fruits or all fruit plants want to procreate, so why would they want you to eat their seeds? Seeds are not meant to be eaten, neither are nuts. And this health movement bottles it in packages and tell you all nuts are so healthy for you and full of omega-3s and all these wonderful things, when in reality we never really ate much nuts because they're hard to come by, number one. Number two, they were hard to open. And have you ever tried eating an almond in the shell or the walnut and how hard it is? Unless you had some sort of tool, you'd kill it to death with a rock. So the only kind of fat that I really take in now is avocado, because oils also overly saturate your cells. I try to follow the 80-10-10, which of Doug Graham, great book, and it really explains things into detail why eating so much fat is not good for you. Majority of people are diabetics because of the amount of fat they take in. And the body can't move the sugar in and out as quickly as possible because of all this latent fat within the system. I basically eat a lot of fruits. That's the majority of my diet. And people say, oh, you're going to become diabetic or this, that. You don't, because your body, it goes in and it goes out. If you now mix the fats with the sugars, then you're in trouble, because then it slows down. Remember, fat takes a long time to digest. Fruits digest in 20 minutes, in and out, no problems. I do mostly fruits, and I do lots of vegetables, or mostly greens, actually. No, I don't want to say lots of vegetables. I just do some green peppers, and I do zucchini and cucumbers. I sprout, lentil and mung beans, and add that stuff to my salads. But I try to keep it as simple as possible. The key is proper digestion. If your body can't digest it, you're not going to receive the nutrients, and therefore it's just going to linger in your system, ferment, and you're going to get sick. And the sick population we have today. Most of you eat foods that are not even considered food. They come in a box, it's been in a shelf for God knows how long, it travels from point A to point B, has no nutritional value whatsoever, and it's only making you sick. So you think that you're eating all these wonderful foods by buying all sorts of health foods and packages and think, oh, well, it's got all this and that and the other, and look, it says this, that, and the other. No, it doesn't come from a tree, and then it's not good for you. I'm not going to preach to you guys what to eat, but one of the reasons I made this video is I started commenting on a channel called Matt Monarch and Angela Monarch are the owners of the Raw World, and I'll post the link below. And they're always selling something to everybody that falls prey to them. And I was trying to put my 2 cents and say, look, that's not raw vegan. That's synthetic stuff that you guys are putting in a bottle, in a pill, in potion, and selling to people. And people are vulnerable, so they're going to buy all this stuff. Well, they weren't too happy with me trying to take away their sales or whatever, so they blocked me and they removed my comments. Well, what do they have to be fearful about? If what I'm saying is not true, then educate me, Mr. Monarch. You've been in the raw movement for 10 years and you consider yourself some sort of raw king. All you're doing is selling snake oil to people and vulnerable fat people that are trying to lose weight. Kiss the ground you walk on because your wife lost over 200 pounds eating raw foods, mind you. None of that stuff that you guys sell. And now you're trying to make a buck. You live in a huge mansion in Costa Rica, and you know everybody else is paying for your lush lifestyle. You know what? More power to you. You want to live that way? That's great, but don't lie to people and don't try to sell people things that aren't going to work. They need to learn how to eat the natural diet that we are intended to eat. What's the difference between the sad American diet or the standard American diet, SAD, S-A-D, than what you're doing, putting all sorts of gizmo in a packet and selling to them like it was the greatest thing on earth? I think the simplicity in life is what keeps us healthy. Simplicity in life is what allows our spirit to soar. You didn't like my comment? You didn't have to block me. You didn't have to erase my comments. Just, you could have disagreed and that would have been fine. But anyhow, another conversation I wanted to bring forth is I had this discussion with my mother the other day, and you know, I try to use all natural stuff. Like I don't use deodorant, I use The Rock, and I don't use their standard soap. I put a chlorine filter on my shower head to prevent chlorine from hitting my skin. Your skin is your largest organ, and chlorine is very damaging and drying and just it's wreaking havoc in our system. And my mother tells me, well, you can't live in a bubble. And I'm like, wait a minute, who's living in a bubble? I'm not living in a bubble. I'm trying to do things naturally. Everyone else with all these antibacterial soaps and all these chlorinated water and all this protection against bacteria. You know what? When we lived on an island before Columbus discovered the New World, the Indians didn't have all these products. They drank from the water. They had all sorts of pathogens on their skin. They lived in harmony with bacteria. Ever since, you know, America was discovered and all these Europeans came over and introduced all their stuff, that's when we all got sick. Prior to that, we were healthy. So I'd say, hey, let's return back to nature, return back to the natural way. It's not a bubble. You guys live in a bubble with all your antibacterial soaps and chlorine and chlorine that and all of these products that are crazy. And all it is to make a buck. You need to realize that Mother Earth gives us everything we need. Our bodies are meant to take care of all diseases. We don't need your pills, your vaccines, all these crazy things that you're trying to do to dumb us down with your fluoride in your water and all that stuff. We don't need none of that. What we need is inside of us. Everything that we need is within us. And all we have to do is wake this little heart chakra up, start using our brains a little bit, turn off our TVs, and realize what is being done to our world and what is being done to you. I challenge you to wake up, take control of your lives, stop living this lie, stop allowing people to take your powers away, and take control once and for all. The way you eat is important. I'm about to run out of time. Guys, I love you, but always remember to love yourselves too. It is the most important thing, because when you love yourselves, that love flows through and it gets into every single little crook and cranny of the world. Take care, guys. Much love.